Today we're going to talk about fencing because fencing is so important. When you keep livestock, which might be cows or horses in my case, or even sheep or goats or whatever, good fencing gives you peace of mind. You might want to go out for the day, or at night you want to sleep sound. So fencing is very important. That's what we're going to talk about. Let's go. I'm Becky. I used to live in the consumer rat race just like you. But one day I had enough, so I sold it all, moved to the country, and built my own log cabin with my own two hands. Now I spend my time discovering new ways to live a simple, healthy lifestyle with more free time and way less stress, then sharing what I've learned with you. Welcome to Becky's Homestead. I've kept horses for approximately 30 years straight. I've built a lot of fencing over the years, and I've done it myself. One thing you want to make sure you take into consideration when you build fencing is long-term maintenance. In the beginning, I never thought of that. I was just like, oh, I got to get this done. Let me build this pasture. And, this material was on sale and blah, blah, blah. Now that I've had years of experience, I realize what is the important thing to consider. Long-term maintenance is definitely one of them. So Electro Braid is so amazing for that aspect of fencing, long-term, reliability and all. Another thing is installing it. It's so easy, so convenient. Of course, doing fencing is hard work. I'd call fencing maybe a 6 on a scale of 1 to 10 in hardness to do the work. So it's doable for any healthy person, but it is quite a bit of work. And to take in consideration how easy the Electro Braid is to do, how effective it is for the animals. Oh, it's so amazing. The animals respect it so much. And the reason being, I think, is they can clearly see it. They get a shock, they stumble back kind of, but then they can see what shocked them. And in their brain, they connect it so quickly and so easily. So after that, they respect the fencing. They will not touch that fencing. I've used the tinsel kind back in the day, and they would get the shock and it would back them up, but I don't think they ever really connected it quickly. Oh, that is what shocked me, because it's just such a skinny little wire. The Electro Braid is so much more effective and quick. Those animals get it, put it together, what shocked them, and so they just don't go near it. My best example of that is our Heflinger pony, who is now 31 years old. Looks fantastic. He just knowing his age lets you know like his little personality. And he would go through any fencing. Field fencing, he'll climb it. That tinsel, electric shock, he'll take the shock with his double mane. He'll just go through it. He doesn't touch this Electro Braid because, like I said, I think he connects it, what's shocking him. So he's like the test sampler, that little pony, if it can keep him in. So it just gives us a tickle because he's been such a stinker all these years, and it works so good on him. All right, so here it is, the Electro Braid that I'm in love with. I want to tell you, it comes in 2 different colors. It comes in the white and then it comes in the black. I recommend getting the white for the reasons I just discussed, how they quickly get the shock, back up, and connect it to the white fencing, because horses can see white and yellow really well. So, and it's so easy to put up. It's so easy to repair. It's just wonderful. I can't say enough about it. All right, I'm going to tell you about the clips and how I do it. I use big fat corner posts on the corners and the gates just to anchor everything, because you're going to pull on it a little bit. So these are the clips I use for that. I just use a screwdriver. I'll just pound the hole and start it. Then I put this in the hole and I put the screwdriver through here and then just crank it in. So easy. Couldn't be easier. Like I said, it's like a 6 on a scale of 1 to 10 to do the work. Anybody could do it. This is a clip that clips onto the T-post, because in between the wooden posts, I use the metal T-post that you just pound in. And that's why the only reason it's a 6 out of 10 is those are kind of hard to pound in like that. But doable. I just stand on a little step stool. It makes it easier, like a 2-step stool. And if you need it to be just a tiny bit away from there for whatever reason, your post tipped a little bit, it's got a little bit of an angle, this moves it a little bit further away. It goes this way. This goes on the T-post. It moves it a little bit further away, but the ones I try to use on every post and I love the most are these. These are kind of new. I don't know if you can see them very well. They clip on the T-post. You put the Electro Braid in that slot right there, and then they give you this little thing to put in there, and it just locks that in place, because this will go. I'll show you if I can. It's a little bit hard to get this in, actually. But what's nice about it, now the Electro Braid's locked in there. It can't blow out, it can't fall out, nothing. So it's awesome, amazing. And you can get these out to like whatever, if you ever have to. I always snap that off, so it's just like that. It's a little hard to pull out, but doable. You can see it's doable. A little hard, but doable. Okay, so now I put it back in there because I don't want to lose it because I broke that part off. And so you have the 3 different kinds of clips that I use. It says on the Electro Braid that you can put the post up to 20 feet apart. Amazing. You save money on the post, because you might think, oh, well, the Electro Braid's a little bit expensive, and it is a little bit expensive, but you save money on the post because you can put them so far apart, and you're getting high quality fencing, and you're saving money on the post. I personally do my post 15 feet apart, not 20. I don't know, I just want to do kind of a little bit extra good job, so I do them 15 feet apart, and it works so good. Another reason I love the Electro Braid is you look out in your pasture, your yard, and you just don't see like all this wooden fencing cluttering everything up, you know. It's almost like you can look beyond the fencing, you know. You can see it, of course, but it just doesn't seem to clutter everything up. You easily can just look beyond everything. And I think the horses feel the same way. They are contained, but I don't think they feel locked in because they can see beyond everything. They seem so happy in the Electro Braid pastures. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about what I use to power my Electro Braid. I love the solar box. This is the first time I've used solar, and I'm like, why not? You know, they've come so far with them, and they're just awesome. You don't have to oh, the power's off, you know, oh, my fence is, you know, you're away for the day, the power's off. You're like, darn, now my fence isn't on, you know. No problem if you have a solar. It's so amazing. I love it so much. The name brand I use is Zareba. I'm going to spell it Zareba. Now they'll have different distances, and we use the S 10 mile, which I'm assuming means the solar 10 mile. We always go a little bigger than what we need because we do have our feisty Heflinger pony. He's, you know, he's a spunky little pony. So make sure you calculate the size you need. I'm going to tell you something I learned through reading, if I'm not mistaken. You don't just count, oh, you know, add up the square footage of how far it is. No, you have to do every strand you count. And so let's just say you do 100 feet, it's all the way around. I'm just picking an easy number, 100 feet. It's not 100 feet. If you use 3 strands, it's 100 feet times 3. If it's 100 feet and you have 4 strands, it's 100 feet times 4 when you're calculating the size of the box you need. So make sure you keep that in mind and do it right, because you want it to have enough zap on it. Also, what I want to say is I use 3 strands, and I love to leave the bottom strand about 2 feet off the ground. So when I'm mowing with my 0-turn mower, I can mow in between each post. You know, of course, the horses they're not going to get down that low and crawl out, so I don't have to worry about that. So I love to do that. Leave it like 2 feet off the ground, and then it's easy to mow in between and keep it looking all nice outside when you're, you know, doing your yard maintenance and stuff. So that's just a little tip I'm giving you, because if you keep it too low, you know how it looks. It's always like little scrubby grass there, and you either have to come back with the weed whacker and get it, or like, oof, it just makes extra work you don't want to do. So by leaving it, you know, 2 feet off the ground, you could just do it with the 0-turn. So easy. So let me end by saying I highly recommend this fencing if you want awesome fencing for your animals, low maintenance for you, very effective for your animals, looks great on your property. I recommend the fencing, the post, and all the clips. So I'll see you next time. Happy homesteading. Bye-bye.